Welcome to the Freedom Chronicles.
Definitely an antisocial type.
Only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
We got a loudspeaker here, and when we go into battle, we play music very loud.
With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Freedom Chronicles. I'm your host, Mike Imbasciani, and we are, of course, broadcasting from the Brian Chapman State Farm bunker right here in Southwest Florida. And like a good neighbor, Brian Chapman State Farm is there for all of the insurance needs that you have for your very own bunker. Give his office a call at 941-625-9998 or visit the office at 2040 Tamiami Trail in Port Charlotte. And don't forget, folks, sign up for the Locals community. Join the Locals community. Be part of the Locals community. Just $5 a month and you get your first month free with promo code FreedomCow. We had a fantastic full 2-hour interview with 2024 presidential candidate Steve Laffey. You can watch the full 2 hours only on Locals. We have a fantastic guest with us today, just as important as presidential candidate Steve Laffey. It's a good friend, and we've talked many times when we're finally getting him on the podcast. Is comedian Greg Morton, everybody. Greg, how are you, brother?
Hey. Excellent. I'm all right. It's the rest of the world. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah. It truly is the rest of the world. And Ken, how are you, sir? Always good to see you.
Doing fine.
Very
so
good.
How's the weather up there in Toronto, Canada?
Duh.
That's how we have
Let
to
me have
say
a look
it.
and see. Yeah. It has, let me have a look and see. 62 degrees. There you go.
Oh,
chilly.
Yeah, a little frigid. A little frigid for the Florida boys.
Man.
But you just spent some time in the true Great White North of Alaska.
Oh.
North to Alaska.
Oh, you went to Alaska?
Yeah. I was just there last week. And
Tell us about it.
Yeah, did you hang out with all the
and,
Eskimos?
No, a lot of moose.
Yeah.
There was moose all along the highway, like about, when it snows up there in the mountains, they all come down to feed, and they were all along the highway, 20 of them in a half-hour drive from the gig to the hotel. Yeah. Baby moose,
you were
mama
in
moose,
Anchorage?
everybody.
Is that where it was?
Nilichik was my first gig.
Oh,
and that was on the peninsula, the Kenai Peninsula. And Anchorage for most of the time. Wasilla for one gig, and then, Coots.
Oh, did you go see Sarah Palin?
Yeah,
She's been looking pretty good nowadays.
The last time I was there, which was last year, I missed her by a half hour.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, she was actually at the gig that I was playing at Everett's. It's a restaurant, and she was there for a big meeting.
Oh,
so,
it's too bad she didn't see
by
you.
a half hour.
She'd have loved your show.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that would have been great. So
and you were at
I was doing Comic-Con.
Yeah. So how was that? Like, I've been to MegaCon in Orlando, Tampa. Maybe I think it might be Tampa, and it's fun. But it's not. I mean, it's not San Diego Comic-Con. But what is the Arctic Comic-Con like? Is there a lot of cosplaying of people in Hawaiian shirts wishing to be in Florida? Or
well, there was a lot of cosplay, but you know, I'm not really up on the anime, so there and the manga comics. So there were a lot of characters I had no idea who they were. I said, "Come up, tell us your name."
I can't understand all this technical talk. I don't know.
Well, you see, Ken, for the young people, they read the manga books. They have to read it right to left. They don't read it left to right. It's right to left.
Well, you're the one who thinks there's Eskimos in Anchorage.
Whatever. I stumbled upon what was it, Jim Carrey's?
You know what sorry.
Bits about Canada. It was a frozen wasteland.
A lot of it is.
I know.
A lot of it is. In the middle, it looks just like the middle of Nebraska. the plains or
just
Wyoming or Montana.
The tundra you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's just just high plains. They call it high desert. So and there's a lot of
crazy.
Canada that's like that too. Yeah. But how is Toronto? I've never been to that side. I've only been up to the Alberta, British Columbia, that area. I've never been over to the eastern part.
If I could, I'd walk right out the window and show you. No, I don't mean. No,
is it hilly? Is it mountainous? Do you got mountains and stuff around there?
No, it's more of like it's flatter, and I guess kind of more of a port city because you've got the Great Lakes there, and that's where all the trade used to come in that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and Toronto looks like a nice city.
Hogtown. Oh yeah, it is. It's just it'll be great when it's finished. It's just not finished yet. Just keep building.
Just like every other city.
There's
my old
about
landlord.
40 cranes in the sky. What's that?
Wow.
My old landlord lives there.
A lot of slumlords.
Yeah. No, he was a nice guy. He's a Russian dude. He grew up in a closed city in Russia.
Huh.
Is
that like the 15-minute city that they want to build?
Well, pretty much.
Here
or
in
they
America?
did something there that meant people that lived there never got out, and they didn't allow people from the outside in.
I think that's also called a gulag.
Yes. So, but he's a member of the Conservative Party up there in Canada. How is the Conservative Party faring? They got the elections rigged up there to where the Trudeau's are just gonna
they said if the election were held today, Poilievre would win.
Yeah. So who is that? That's the Conservative Party. What is being done? Like I know last time you were in town on Ken's show, you were talking about when he's speaking in Parliament there, everybody loves it, and he's going toe to toe to Justin.
He's the one that's charging forward right now and trying to bring out all of these injustices. And right now, the Canadian government is just
what's up with the euthanasia?
Yeah, so Greg, I want to get your opinion on this.
That's a great question.
I saw this story, and now you Canadians are supposed to be quite friendly, so I've heard.
They've always been friendly to me.
They've been friendly to me. There's always a lot of them that come down, see me play, But this article.
I'm 65. I did not ask for this. Believe me.
well.
I mean. No. This is Trudeau's idea, I don't think the Canadian people.
Well, it's a
really
World
want
Economic Forum thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're looking for depopulation.
Well, it's World Economic Forum, but it's also the people. It's unfortunately these people in Canada. This comes from Front Page Magazine, written by Daniel Greenfield. He said leftist policies start out seemingly reasonable and compassionate before they become totally monstrous. So there in the Great North, how about killing the homeless and the poor?
That's
half
and
of Canadians
and the veterans.
Yes,
yeah, right.
And
the
lowering
veterans.
the age, and hell, they're getting into the teens now. Had a bad day? Why don't you come over here and we'll just put an end to it?
But they actually did a study, and they said half of Canadians would agree to allow adults in Canada to seek medical assistance in dying due to the inability to receive medical treatment. That was 51%, or a disability. So veterans, those type of folks, that was 50%. Fewer than 3 in 10 would consent to expand the guidelines to include homelessness. That was 28%, or poverty at 27%, as reasons to seek medical assistance in dying. Canadians are split when pondering if mental illness should be a justification for an adult to seek medical assistance in dying. 43% support this idea, while 45% are opposed. That's 1 in 4 on board with euthanasia for the poor and homeless. Among the 18 to 34-year-old crowd, that's 40%. It's 40% within that age range.
What's the big deal? You've got Canada. Look how big it is. It's got the population of California.
Exactly, yeah.
So why do you need to depopulate? What's the big deal here?
It's a farce. It's not real. I don't know where they get these figures, and especially the veterans. I mean, you guys. The country
I read that
owes
story.
them. That's just so incredibly wrong. And I was so offended by that. I don't even recognize this country anymore. It
Oh
can't
well,
be.
you're
It's
not
Edward Lee-
alone. We're having the same issues.
Us either,
here.
buddy,
You're just
yeah.
a little bit further ahead of us.
And those even a little bit further ahead is the UK. Now, the
Oh.
king was just coronated. How nice. Now, I think this picture, this picture summed it up. There were two great memes that came out.
Canadians, I forgot. You guys are still part of that.
There was this one that said,
Right.
"Bringing your
Oh.
dad both screwdrivers because you don't know what he's talking about." And then the other one, which was 74-year-old man
Oh,
excited
my
to finally
gosh.
get his first job after years of living off his mother.
Didn't you see the video? The video meme where Biden's sniffing him?
Well, oh, you mean this? I think we have that clip
You have
as
that
well.
one? You're gonna love this one, Greg.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, let me see.
One more time, yes. We all thought that Joe didn't get the invite, but he just had the special backstage pass for it.
Yeah, he was backstage eating ice cream.
Oh my gosh, that should be on our money.
I mean, yeah, really. That's fun.
Oh.
So what's the over/under in Canada right now for how long he's actually going to be king? Are they taking
How old
odds?
is he? He's what? What is he? 70 what?
What did I say? 74?
74,
Yeah.
73, 74.
Yeah.
Well, on
I mean,
his
he's
next
gonna
trip
be,
over to
you know-
Canada, they've offered him
But
euthanasia options.
Yes.
About Camilla Parker Bowles. The pseudo queen. She
Oh.
has no power, but we'll let her.
Yeah, did she
we'll let
actually
her-
get the title of queen? That
No,
was
it's queen, and I forget what the other word is.
Is it queen regent?
Queen something
No, I
like
don't
that,
know.
but she has absolutely zero power at all.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because
right.
she's
She's
basically
a-
and
I was going to say figurehead, but go ahead, Ken.
Those words are interchangeable.
but ever since the whole Diana thing, I've really grown to kind of dislike the king and Camilla.
Oh yeah.
The king is a pompous ass.
Yeah, he is, and he's
and what leading up to the coronation?
Epstein's Island too, by the way.
Yeah, and leading up to the coronation, you were seeing those videos of the folks at the soccer games, basically chanting, "You can shove the coronation up your ass," and they're all singing in unison. This entire football stadium. So my question:
I got something to show you. I got something to show you guys, and let's see if I can find it.
Okay.
Doggone
Yes.
it. Just give me a second, okay?
Okay.
You guys
So,
talk amongst
but-
yourselves.
But as a man on the ground, amongst the people there in Canada, what has the feeling been like
It's
when
on
you
the
actually?
ground. He's like on the 23rd.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. I wasn't even here.
That's true. You keep
No,
keep
that's
hopping
right.
I was in
across
Al-
the border. Yeah, you're in
Alaska.
Alaska.
No, you know what? Let me ask you guys something, okay? I came across the border back into my own country, and this the border guard starts giving me crap for flying out of Buffalo instead of flying out of Toronto. She thought that it would be a lot easier or faster to get to Anchorage that way
From
than going through
Toronto.
Buffalo. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. And it's not. It's not. Because number one, there's the delay out of Toronto. Number two, I
There's
think
no
it's
direct
the, what else?
flights Toronto to
There's no
Anchorage,
direct
right?
flight. Definitely not.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to
No.
connect to Vancouver and then fly up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was definitely a lot faster. I went from Buffalo
It's better to fly into
Chicago,
Seattle and take the ferry.
From Vancouver.
Well, you
Yeah.
see more. You know,
It's just more fun.
couple of whales along the way. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. She climbed all over me. This patriotic thing, like, why didn't you fly out of Toronto?
It's like you're going to America anyway.
Show.
Yeah.
Hey, since Title 42's ending, so the invasion is beginning.
Yes, Friday. Well, and what's interesting?
Do you still have to get jabs or to come in?
Yeah.
No, I think
Have they dropped
that's
that
going to
yet?
be it. It's official. My wife will be able to come across. It's going to be great. So we are going to
Good.
Yes.
start looking for
So
a place
soon to
as
be
soon
a
as it
new
opens
resident
up.
of Florida or
Excellent.
Alaska. We
Excellent.
don't know yet because he could have really liked it out there. You got to
No,
come
he's
down,
gonna
man.
he's gonna pick a central point in the United States, Ogallala, Nebraska. He'll be right there.
Yeah, right.
You know what we did last time? We just threw a dart at the map.
Really?
We threw our finger down on a map and we go, and it came up Marina Del Rey, California. And we started singing "Living in Marina Del Rey."
Would you really want to
My
live
mom
there
was
now?
having a fit. She couldn't believe it. What's that?
Would you really want to
Would
live
I
there
like to
now?
live there now? No, I don't think I could. You can't. Number one, you can't go back, and number two, it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's especially California.
Everybody's leaving.
Everybody
Everybody's leaving California.
Yeah.
Everybody in comedy I know is bailing if they can, unless they got a solid gig.
Mhm.
Out there,
Yeah.
they're bailing on
Yeah.
California.
Even Zoltan, he just moved to Brooklyn, which
Really?
Kind
San
of like out of the
Diego,
fire into
Brooklyn.
the frying
Yeah.
pan, really.
yeah, but
I don't know if that's any
wish
better,
him luck.
really, yeah.
Just tell him stay off the subways.
Yeah, stay off the
Stay,
streets.
stay off the streets. Stay off the subways.
No
Maybe
joke.
don't go to JFK or
Yeah.
LaGuardia.
Uber everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, we're having the same problems in Toronto. Once you
Really,
go
is
that
crime
liberal,
getting bad up there?
oh, it's getting really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we live right next to a park. My wife looked out the other day. Outside her window, there was a dead guy on the platform outside of this building.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and you're seeing, I mean, I don't know, Ken, I sent you this episode, but Tim Pool's been talking about it a lot lately. There was the Marine that choked out the homeless man, Neely, there on the subway in New York. And the homeless man unfortunately died. And everybody's going after the Marine. It was the Marine and two other people who subdued. Yeah, the Marine was white, two other guys were black, and the victim was black. And the victim was known for doing Michael Jackson impersonations on the train, but he has kidnapped somebody. He has punched multiple people in the
bad
face.
impressions?
57
most
yeah,
likely.
they were horrible.
Yeah.
57 arrests just for the Michael Jackson impersonation. And then he was trying to
He kidnapped
No,
a kid.
I'm kidding.
He kidnapped a kid.
He was trying
Again,
to shove
Michael
people-
Jackson.
He was trying to shove people onto the
He was grabbing
track.
himself in
Yeah.
the wrong place.
He was
What's that?
intimidating, and on this car, he's running around screaming, "I'll go to jail for life. I don't care. I don't care." And he was threatening people. So this ex-Marine put him in a chokehold, put him in a head restraint hold. He was still breathing, but the guy was amped up on something. And he gets put in a restraint. He starts his adrenaline starts going even more, and he vapor locked, and he's dead. And
But now
they're
what
trying
you
to-
see, what happens?
They martyred him. They're trying to George Floyd him.
Right, and they rather go after the victims, and they want to convict him. AOC's coming out calling him a murderer, and they're getting the mob ready to go after this guy.
Yeah.
When you should be looking at the crime. My dad in the 80s was taking the subway in New York, and he saw two transit cops at the top of the steps and say, "Hey, aren't you guys supposed to be down there?" And the cops say, "Well, it's dangerous down there." And it's only gotten worse. And so you're seeing these everyday people. It's not vigilantism yet, but I think especially in places like Toronto, in New York, in California, you're going to start seeing these events happen more and more because people are sick of it when you're stuck
That's
in a
true.
metal tube.
But look what they're doing in New York. They're rioting and protesting, trying to martyr this guy who has been begging for it for a long time, and somebody finally accommodated.
And somebody who had such a lengthy rap sheet who should have already been in
he should
prison.
have already been.
He
in
could be
jail.
alive and in jail
So if
rather
they want to
than
burn
dead.
that, New York's a crap hole anymore. Mayor Adams, like I said, I had high hopes for him. He was a retired cop. I thought he was going to do something about crime. Everything has only gotten worse. It's a crap hole. Everybody knows it. And if the people of New York who voted for this idiot and have voted for all this crap that they are dealing with, the garbage is piling up, needles, feces on the street, homeless everywhere, and more Neelys all over the place doing the same thing. If they want to make him a martyr and start burning their city down over this, fine by me. We don't care. You're a blue city. Fine, bring it to Florida. We'll end it really quick. But
Yeah.
you
That's
you
why you're
wanna-
not seeing it
You
in
guys want to
Florida.
wallow in your own
right.
crap and burn it down over something stupid like this. Be my guest. Go ahead.
Yeah.
They're idiots. I've
Well,
got
this-
no sympathy for them at all.
Well, this
But
is
I
what
do
I
have
don't
sympathy for the
understand.
people like Zoltan. Why would he move to
Yeah.
Brooklyn?
Go ahead, Greg. I know. I love you,
What the
Zoltan,
hell
but
you doing? Get out
Yeah.
of there.
go ahead, Greg.
Well, I, you know what? I don't. Maybe it's the problem is that people haven't had their fill yet. But if you once they will reach a breaking point eventually, it's going to happen because when you can't even step out your own door and just do a little shopping, take your baby out to the park, or what have you, just
Is it
these
like that in
regular
Toronto for
everyday.
you?
Yes, it's gotten ridiculous.
And it's sad to see.
So-
But well,
And
have
you
you
know, and
considered
the subway?
going
The
through
subways are really bad. We had a real rash of stabbings, just random killings and stabbings. Young kid, 16 years old, bam, wasn't doing anything, wasn't bothering
Terrible.
anybody.
Exactly.
Person came up, stabbed him. Another person pushed off the side. onto
And what do the
tracks.
people do around him? They videotape it instead of go to help the person as well.
Yeah,
because it's
exactly.
the it can't be me
exactly.
mentality. The I just don't want to get
Yeah, and I'm going to
involved.
be able to monetize my channel after
Yeah,
this.
yeah, right. It's the video of world star. You know what I mean? And it's sad to see but then when
What are the gun laws? He's grabbing all the guns up there now, right? So it's just going to
Oh,
make
yeah.
it more convenient
Yeah.
for criminals.
Well, right now, Alberta, they're fighting back. So
yes,
we'll
Good
see
for
where
them.
it goes. I don't think. Yeah, right. I mean, this
My
is what
great
we've gotta
white
do.
North brothers.
Yeah. And I had an argument with someone the other day about that. And I said, well, if you live on a farm, you have to have some kind of weapon to defend yourself
Yeah.
because the police can't get there
Exactly.
in time. And people will just come on your property and they'll slaughter you and they'll take everything you got. And I'm not fear mongering at all. I mean, this is where we're at.
It's happening.
no, it's happening.
we've
It was
opened it up.
happening in South
What?
Africa. That was happening
Yeah.
in South Africa.
Yeah.
That was happening.
Yeah.
So
Well,
horrible.
Well,
for
all you have to
different
do
reasons.
is look around you,
Well,
and there are the telltale signs, right, of your
Yeah.
future. Yeah.
yes.
Indeed.
So have you considered going through the Darien Gap and up through Panama there and come across the border anyway? Because,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
Of course,
we won't have to now.
of course, the way, from what I hear,
yeah, right.
from what I hear, you won't get your choice of where you get to fly to. They're just going to put you on a bus and send you an airport. So it's going to be like you and your
Martha's
wife just
Vineyard,
throwing
please.
that dart, throwing that dart at the map.
Martha's
It'll
Vineyard,
be
please.
just like that.
Can
Wind up
I
in
would
Walla Walla.
like to hang out with the white liberal women on Martha's Vineyard, please.
It's crazy. It's so crazy that they put such burdens on you and your wife,
Yeah.
just across the Canadian border. Yet it's so hypocritical because the southern border is wide open.
It is wide
You're
open, and
allowing an
this
invasion.
and this report just came in, and it's interesting that SpaceX is involved. And Ben, I have this picture you can put up of the
part
United
of the land
States.
where all that.
Let's
I
have a
highly recommend people look into Michael Yan. You can find him on Locals. You can find him on Substack and follow him and see. He's been reporting all about the Darien Gap and the thousands upon thousands of not only South American folks coming through, but thousands and thousands of military-aged men from China
Europeans, Middle Eastern
coming through the Darien
Wow.
Gap. So you see down there in the Rio Grande
Wow.
Valley, you see SpaceX. Now,
I see that.
SpaceX is in the Rio Grande Valley, immediately on the border. And Michael Yan said he's been there many times tracking the illegal aliens. The Border Patrol now is saying, quote, starting this morning, the Rio Grande Valley McAllen Station, all Border Patrol details are canceled. 90% of each shift must report to the staging area in McAllen. This leaves only 5 agents on shift to patrol 50 or on each shift, to patrol 50 miles of river. They might as well raise the white flag. How 5 agents on per shift can patrol 50 miles of river is absolutely insane.
Well, you can't.
That's crazy.
There will literally be
because
no
they
one
don't
out
want
there
them to.
help,
They don't want
and the
them to.
cartels will take full advantage.
And
That's
and,
right.
and as those 5 guys, you're so vulnerable now because you're spread out over that 50 miles. Are you really going to be doing anything other than just checking your laptop sitting in your car?
Yeah, just wave as they go by.
Thanks, guys. Oh, hey, come here, kid. You want some gum? Hey, here's a little stick of gum for you. Get out of here.
You look a little thirsty. It's been a long walk. But it's dangerous. And what's interesting, and Michael Yanis talked about that, they're not stopping in America. Some of them are going all the way to Canada. So have you heard anything about what that border crisis is for you guys up there? You're not keeping out Americans.
It's they're really not that overpopulated.
Yeah.
With as many people as they got killing themselves every day.
But as
you
far
really
as
don't notice the influx.
Yeah,
sure you notice the language barrier, but
at least it's no longer French.
Well, I think.
But are you seeing is that part of the crime uptick?
No. The crime uptick is definitely connected to drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is the immigration thing. That's just it's overworked our what do I want to say? Our support infrastructure. I mean, we've already filled up a number of our hotels with homeless people, and
great.
So, what's a few
hotel owners got to be loving that?
Yeah, because they get paid full money from the government, and the statistics just came out.
They probably raised the rates.
Yeah. Well, they have to pay full, right? Normally you and I, you have the 2 numbers on the door. You've got the one number. You've got what their rate is, what they say the rate is, and usually it's about $400+
Right.
What you pay is usually half that, right? It has to be a peak week or season or day for you to pay full price, like $400. So it's not usually that. But if you're the government, it's always top.
Oh yeah.
Do you want? Yeah.
Do you ever think we'd get here? Do you ever think Canada would get to where it's at, like it is today?
No.
Because you're just a couple of years older than me. You're older than me.
Hey, Ken, why don't I just euthanize
not
myself?
The oldest
That's
guy in the room.
idea.
Just saying. But did you ever think Canada that the crap would be happening in Canada like it is? Did you ever think this?
No, I think the problem is we trusted a lot, our news media a lot, and wow, that was a mistake. Right?
You too.
So I don't think most people know. Like a lot of people up here in Canada still believe we have great health care. Meanwhile, we've had hallway medicine for how many years? Just people stuck out in the hallway. Can't get in. Can't get
How's
in.
the homeless?
Just waiting.
What's your homeless like up there?
I don't have any figures on me right now, but I mean, it's.
What do you notice?
Just look out the window.
Around Toronto? Go look out over the balcony. What's your homeless like? How are the little people below, Greg?
Open the window. Say, hey, have you been contacted by the euthanasia people yet?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I used to see regulars. Now I don't see them anymore. There's all brand new people.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, but most of it is drugs. And you can tell.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't think this cannabis thing, I really don't think that was a good idea. I mean, sorry, people who like to toke once in a while. It's not good.
Well, they still can.
And I
Just
think
go
it is
get it from
I think it
Dave
is a
at the,
gateway. What's that?
Yeah.
But they still can. They just got to go get it from Dave at the, at the bowling
around the
alley.
corner.
Well, everybody's exactly. Well, everybody's body chemistry is different, right? So some people they have a couple of tokes, nothing happens. They get a little buzzed, no harm, no foul. But other people, they get paranoid, they freak out, or at least it's something harsher. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. Very true. You said something about the media and the change. I think, and I heard somebody mention this. I was listening to something earlier. They mentioned this. The COVID situation and what happened when you see the governments and the control, the lockdowns and everything they did, it really, the one big positive thing that came out of that was the goalposts were moved in a short couple months time that would usually take 10 years, because I think the same thing happened. Yeah. In regards to tyranny that happened, and that's the negative, but the positive is that a lot more people woke up faster than they would have if they were just living their life. I think
awakened to the tyranny rather than
they awakened to the tyranny rather than just understanding it themselves.
I need another booster, I guess.
The same thing happened in 2016. The Democrats were so narcissistic and thought they had it in the bag so hard they didn't hide who they truly were, and they were never able to put that back in the bag. So people who truly understand see it. And then you have the Democrats now, like RFK, that goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure the CIA killed my uncle. And you're having these conversations, and more people are waking up
finally
daily. And that's right. And that's one of the things, especially on this show, that we talk about, the whole get loud locally mentality that we have with this show, is the local community. What is going on in Toronto, and how are local people getting involved? What's going on here, and how can local people get involved?
He doesn't know. He's
I know you're on the 20. I know you're
he's
traveling.
Out being funny.
You're out being funny, but you're out in the audience of
time with his life, and you need to just lay off him.
The people at that late show at Vasani did not lay off you, my friends.
Keep it up, man. I'm going to kill myself, I swear. That was the craziest show ever, wasn't it?
That was. That is truly one of the craziest shows I've seen. But you are on the ground across the great white north, the tundra. You're out there all the way in Alaska.
Actually, I would say the great white north would be the Alberta, British Columbia. He's in Toronto.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're in Toronto, but you're going to Alaska.
That's like North Chicago. Really.
But you travel. So what, in your opinion, what has been the crowds lately? Are you seeing that shift change where people are a little more conservative? Are they taking the jokes better now? Or are they still on the woke nonsense still?
I think you're preaching to the choir, really. Anybody that's out at a comedy club, they're not woke. They're not social justice warriors, unless it's a younger audience, like say maybe in their 20s to early 30s. They might be social justice warriors. I've run into that a little bit, but
how did they get? They're not even. Well, mom and dad must have gave him some money.
Do you want to leave the basement today? I hear there's a comedy show on.
I won some tickets on the radio.
They don't listen to radio. Come on.
Mom does.
Mom does.
She won the tickets and gave to her kid in the basement. Get out of the house.
But seriously, the people that are in the clubs, most of them, they don't wear a mask. They're completely free because they want to be. They want to be out. They're not scared. They're not afraid.
Good.
So
that's
right?
It's the way it is here. But you always want to check the barometer and comedians are a great way to check that local barometer because you're hitting all these smaller towns,
right?
Not just the big cities.
Right. Well, I did see a lot of people when I was out in Seattle, when I was at Seattle Airport. I saw a lot of people with masks.
Yeah,
but I can understand,
You could see
Seattle's a dead city.
You could see the fire burning from the plane going into the airport, right?
Is Mount St. Helens? No, Seattle's on fire. Oh, okay.
And all the drugged out, heroin addicts are just staring at it like, that's a cool lava lamp.
I grew up in Spokane. I still got friends that live in Seattle. And they're bailing. They're getting out.
Yeah,
I believe the number is somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 businesses have bailed out of Seattle.
Well, because they won't even let you have a business. You can't even have a business. Everything's anti-business. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
and you're seeing these businesses that aren't even political, but they'll put up a sign that says, "We hate Trump," and they do that just so the mob will pass them. You know what I mean? It's like you have to put that, we agree with you. Please
Like
don't burn us
blood
down.
on your door.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the lamb's blood.
Yeah, right.
Passover. It's Passover.
Pass me
Seattle.
over.
Yeah.
We're with you. Black power. Wow.
All right,
That's
time for
crazy,
some
man.
with that statement, time for some music. So folks, don't forget this show is also sponsored by the Local Meat Club by Tyrone and Marcella Jackson, based out of Columbus, Ohio. You can go to localmeatclub.com using the affiliate link in the description of this video and use promo code FreedomCow, all caps, so they know that we sent you. Members can choose from fantastic, locally raised and hormone-free aged Angus ground beef, ribeye steaks, breakfast sausage, bacon, and even raw butter and raw milk. Try the Family Week's Worth package, even if you live by yourself, because it includes breakfast, lunch,
Spread it out.
and dinner. Yes, exactly. And pick up Tyrone's book, Life's Little Handbook, 7 Steps to Finding Success in Life, which explores some of life's most challenging questions. Just 54 pages, simple and straight to the point. Join the club and experience the difference that fresh, life-supporting food makes. Use the link in the description and use promo code FreedomCow, localmeatclub.com. Now, I have a brief comedy video of you folks I highly recommend you go check out. Greg Morton. Go to his website, gregmorton.com. This is an oldie but a goodie. And before we play that video and then go into my music video, we have a picture that Ken has supplied.
It was a little baby me here several years ago, Vasani. That was hilarious. That was a great
That
time.
is hilarious.
So please enjoy.
I need to
Greg
look
Morton.
that up.
Here we go.
I've always been afraid to fly. But a year ago, this lady was sucked out of an airplane. Just sucked right out of an airplane. No, it's true. It's true. That's why I never sit on there and flush at the same time. You ever hear a toilet on an airplane? The sound that it makes. You look down that blue water. That's not water, that is sky. That's what the hell that is. Of course, it's better than those low-flow toilets, right? The low-flow toilet. It's supposed to save water. You've got to flush it 72 times. You keep flushing and flushing, and the poop keeps spinning around, looking at you. I'm not going anywhere. And you're yelling at the toilet, no! You don't understand. This is not my house.
There you go. Love it. Love it. And we'll go in. Let's go into our music.
That was
Early
1971.
2000s.
Early 2000s.
Baby, do you understand me now? Sometimes I get a little mad. Don't you know that no one alive can always be an angel? When things go wrong, I seem to be bad. But I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. Baby, sometimes I'm so carefree with a joy that's hard to hide. Sometimes it seems that all I have to do is worry, and then you're bound to see my other side. But I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. everything I've done. But I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. Cause I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. Thank you.
Little animals right there. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Mike, you got a great voice, brother. That sounded excellent. And guitar,
Thank you.
beautiful, baby.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Really nice.
That
really,
was
really nice.
this. Thank you. That was this past Saturday over the Hibiscus Festival. Michael Haim is there right there at Gilchrist Park in Punta Gorda. And the Hibiscus Festival was the very first gig that I ever had when I was 11 years old, right there at Gilchrist Park.
Is that right?
So it's like going home again.
It's like going home again. Very nice. Anyway, that brings us to our Patriot and Traitor of the Week. Greg, you are our guest. Who is your Patriot of the Week?
Well, obviously, my Patriot is the CSIS, which is like your CIA. Basically, the Canadian Intelligence Agency, and they've been really pushing.
You have
what
to
they've
say
been
that
doing
because
is
they're
leak-
listening right now.
They've been leaking. They've been leaking all this stuff, and because Trudeau has been throwing them under the bus, and he's been going, "I didn't know. I had no idea. I didn't know that the Chinese were doing that." And they're just going ahead and going, screw it. You can't throw us under the bus anymore. We're going to leak this stuff to the people. And even the media is finally turning on Trudeau now.
You got to get rid of him.
So that's
you got to get rid of him.
Right.
You got to get rid of him.
Well, this is where we're at right now.
I know.
Exactly.
We can't get rid of them until there's
I know,
the
yeah.
next election. Yeah.
At least your clandestine agency's doing a good job.
Yeah. When's your next election? When's you up for election?
I think I think it's 2-3 years, something like that. Yeah.
Really?
Because we just had one, right? We just had one last year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we're looking at 3 more years. Yeah.
I'm not Canadian.
We got enough problems down here,
Listen,
damn it.
Yeah.
Well, I had to.
We've been
I
a
had
little
to tune
busy.
out. Well, here's. Here's the big story.
I understand
the
on
big story
tuning
was
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the big story: is that there was this MP, conservative MP, Michael Chong, and I guess the CCP were going after him and his family. They were threatening him. A Chinese diplomat was threatening him and his family, and this is all coming out a year later. The government did nothing about it. Then when they did find out about it, one of them came out and said, well, I don't know if we can do anything. We have to research this and see what the repercussions would be. So they're so terrified of what China would do that it circumvents anything that they would do to help this man and his family.
Yeah.
This man's an MP.
It's the same thing here. Yeah.
It took a year for this to come out.
Our government and your government are both on their knees for China.
It's
pretty
ridiculous.
disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
But my Patriot is the doctors that performed the first ever life-saving brain surgery on a baby in the womb. Crazy.
What?
Derek and Kenyatta Coleman have been married for 7 years, and the Baton Rouge, Louisiana couple were excited that they found out that they were pregnant again. And, quote, the baby was doing well. The anatomy scan came back unremarkable. All of her biophysical profiles were all unremarkable. Kenyatta is 36, told CNN, noting that nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Derek is 39 and did the genetic testing that showed the pregnancy as low risk. But when she went for her 30-week ultrasound, the doctor told her that something wasn't right in terms of the baby's brain, and also her heart was enlarged. So the baby was diagnosed with a vein of Galen malformation at 30 weeks. According to studies looking at all diagnosed cases of VOGM in the neonatal period, the first 4 weeks of a child's life, about 1/3 of all patients do not survive. About 1/3 suffer moderate to severe neurocognitive compromise. Big word of the day.
I'm surprised you pronounced that.
Thank you. Despite treatment, and only 1/3 survive to adulthood without significant compromise. The the Boston's Children's Hospital has all that information. A team at Boston's Children's Hospital and Massachusetts General Hospital carried out the procedure on the fetus, cutting into the womb, then the baby's skull, and ultimately operating on the developing brain. Unbelievable. After they cut
operation.
into the pregnant, yeah, right. Beep, beep, beep.
Ma'am, on the upside, you're still fertile. You can try again.
Anyway, after they cut into the pregnant woman's abdomen, they used an ultrasound to locate the baby's artery to help navigate the procedure. The baby, Denver Coleman, was born 2 days post-op with no birth defects and limited complications at 4.2 pounds,
Awesome.
which is light for a baby. Most babies are born full term at 6 to 9
6 to
pounds.
9, yeah.
So congratulations, the adorable little baby. Denver Coleman made it and was the first ever baby to have life-saving.
Will we know if he has any brain damage, or will we have to wait
Probably
until he votes?
I would imagine 6 months.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do
like
tests.
That,
It'd be interesting to find
tests.
out, but good for them. And it just shows you life exists in the womb. And you'd have people in Portland that just say, just kill it. Just take it to Canada. So it's sad. It's sad to see.
It's very sad. Very sad.
It's very good that they were able to save the little baby. Go ahead, Ken.
Yes,
Who is your
indeed.
patriot of the week?
Her name is Lucia Forsyth, and she embodies the American dream. She was a California woman. She was homeless for just a couple of years ago. She turned her whole life around. She's now back in school. She's got her associate's degree. She's getting married later this year. And to top it all off, she just hit the lottery for $5 million.
There you go.
And she plans to buy a house and invest the rest.
Cool.
I love stories like that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, that's great.
Good deal. Very good. Now for the Debbie Downers. Greg, who is your traitor of the week?
JT, Justin Trudeau.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, for all of the reasons.
What do you do?
Justin Timberlake.
What do you do? I know. Word is he's going to turn up in the Britney biography coming out here.
Okay. Justin Castro Trudeau. Is that better?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That JT. All right.
Yeah, the nose knows.
Well,
Well,
you know what?
a lot of people say
I don't
that,
even have to expand.
But
do
if
I?
you look at a picture of Pierre Trudeau
Mm-hmm.
and a young picture of Pierre Trudeau,
Yeah.
you can see Justin in it. But you can also see Justin when they show Castro's picture too. So it's like, who knows what happened?
Well,
Maybe that was a real wild weekend.
what
She
were they
slept
saying?
with Jagger and Keith Richards, so why
and-
not?
And what were they saying? I don't believe Prince Harry. Harry's
Harry
the-
does not look anything like
Yeah, I'm
anybody
pretty-
in his family. He looks like
He looks like the
Diana's
bodyguard?
Yes.
Oh.
Everybody knows that. They just aren't saying anything. That's why Harry's in the back.
I know. All right. Anyway, my yes, Justin Trudeau. Needs no introduction. We all know he sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
you have to.
I don't even have to get
he's a
into it,
traitor.
but
Yeah, and so my traitor is his counterpart, Biden and the administration. The Oversight Committee has released a lot of information today about what's been going on. We have some tweets that I want to pull up, and we'll read these. The Oversight Committee tweeted out, "We have now established a network of over 20 companies formed by the Bidens and their associates. Most of these companies were LLCs and formed when Joe Biden was vice president. Based on the financial records we have obtained via bank subpoenas, we can now confidently trace at least $10 million in total from foreign nationals and their related companies going to the Biden family, their business associates, and their companies. What services did the Bidens provide in exchange for this money? It is unclear what they provided other than access and influence." Next picture. Joe Biden told the American people on October 22nd, 2020, that Hunter never made money from China. That is a lie based on the bank records. The Bidens took steps to hide, confuse, and conceal payments they received from foreign nationals. Here's one example how a CCP-linked associate layered domestic limited liability companies to pay Hunter Biden. I believe this is called money laundering and treason. 4-step plan to hide China source payments. And they have the timestamps of all of this. So then they went on to say multiple Biden family members received money from the Chinese after it passed through an associate's account. Additionally, Hunter Biden received money directly into his company's account from a Chinese-controlled entity. In addition to the China money ties, we are adding a new country to our growing list of places the Bidens receive money from: Romania. The Biden family and associates' activities in Romania reveal an influence peddling scheme from 2015 to 2017. And they have the whole little graph of the way that works.
Gotta have charts and graphs.
Got to have charts and graphs. You know, this person gave the
Can't
money to
prove it
this
without
person.
charts
This
and
person
graphs.
gave it to this slush fund, and then this went to that. And two more here. While VP Biden was lecturing Romania on anti-corruption policies, he served as a walking billboard for his son and family to collect money. Hunter and his associates capitalized on a lucrative financial relationship with a Romanian national who was later convicted of corruption. Oh, go figure. The Bidens received over $1 million for the Romania deal, with 16 of the 17 payments made during Biden's VP term. Soon after, Joe Biden leaves office, establishing a pattern of influence peddling. Due to the info we are releasing today and further developments, our committee is aware of the investigation will enter a new phase. And finally, James Comer, go figure, will soon issue more subpoenas to banks for specific targeted information. So they're going public with all of this, as they should. And the only conspiracy theory you can say is they're doing this to get Biden out of the election now, because if it's only RFK versus Biden, then RFK will wipe the floor. They have to get the person in quickly to say, "Oh, sorry, Jill and Joe, you're out because we just found out about this corruption."
Yeah, that's exactly what I said to a friend of mine. I said that this is their plan to get Biden out fast, get him out now before we get to the election, and then it gets complicated. Then you can't go. You got nowhere to go. Then it's weekend at Bernie's, all over again.
It already is weekend at Bernie's.
Well, that's why I said all over again. But you know what? We got the same thing. We got the same thing like in Canada.
It is
200.
Mike is my trader.
Hold on. Yeah.
Why is he your trader?
This guy's texting me from Disney. He's going
I
into the
told
belly
you.
of the beast, spending his money at Disney. I go, okay, groomer.
I told you. Now,
you're
Greg.
giving Darth Vader your money, wallowing in the dark side.
Now,
I
Greg,
almost saved you,
sometimes
Mike.
You can give me the Darth Vader voice real quick.
I have you now, Mike.
Yes, we can't read you those texts that Ken sent me. but no, I'll tell you my response though, because my official statement here to justify it was because I was doing my research and recon.
Yeah. Is that what Pete Townsend said? They found child porn on his computer. I was just doing research.
Come to the dark side, Michael.
It's great.
Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. We greatly appreciate it. But no, I will say I was shocked and surprised when I was at Disney. Are you Joe Biden now?
Yeah.
You're pulling the Joe Biden. Who are you sniffing over there? Who are you sniffing over there, Joe? I was shocked at the patriotism that was there. I was shocked at the patriotism that was there, because they have the Hall of Presidents. They have these shows and an a cappella group singing these American songs. And when you look at the history of it, Walt was patriotic, and you see these things that were put in place so that people would remember the patriotic things, and that's what makes it so sad.
They're just covering their ass
painful
for the child grooming.
Well, yeah, because
Don't
now
you
they are
be that-
child
oh,
groomers.
but I saw
They are
something
communists.
patriotic.
You heard me. No, you hear me. They are communists. Disney is now a communist organization, and it's sad to see that, because it shows how far they have fallen. I texted it to you, and I said it to multiple people I was talking to about it. These people need to go into their own exhibits and watch their own shows and maybe understand that America is the greatest place.
It's a small world after all.
After all, it's a small world after all. I didn't go on that ride. I did go on Space
In our
Mountain.
one bedroom studio apartment.
Yes, we got to go, folks. Watch the show on Rumble, CTA, YouTube. Support the show on Venmo, Spotify. Go check it out. Subscribe to the Locals community. Subscribe to all the channels. What'd you say, Ken?
I said to Greg, take us out with mom jeans.
Oh, yes, Greg, would you? Mom jeans?
Okay. I forget how it goes now. What's the first line?
I can't remember.
Oh, dang, nabbit.
That's not my show.
It's you're the one who does it every
Some
Well, you
boy.
probably haven't. You've taken that out of your act, haven't you?
Yeah. Some people
you
even
haven't had
remember
that.
But
Yeah.
you look,
And folks, if you want to see Prince live,
I just remember
go
the
see
last
Greg.
line. You look like a bitch, Obama and Mom. That's all. That's the only one I remember. Sorry, guys.
There you go. That works. Folks, from the bunker. Good night, everybody.
Sorry.
Greg, thank you. GregMorton.com.
Sorry we didn't talk about comedy.
We'll catch you next time.
You're watching Conservative Television of America, working hard to stick socialism where the sun don't shine.